Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, let's talk about the scorecards of this fight. And you know what? A round of applause to all three of these judges. I mean, seriously, they actually scored an honest, clean fight, and probably what was the most easiest fight to score in the history of boxing. And somehow the idiots on boxing Twitter still got it wrong. Chris Mannix, throw your scorecard in the trash. I disagree with it after the first 3 rounds. But you know what? I scored the fight the exact same way after finally watching the full fight this morning. The reason why I didn't do a post-fight vid was because my stream cut off in the 6th round and I couldn't get it back up. I was, going on different sites. It kept freaking interrupting. So I wasn't able to score the fight live. And I don't trust boxing Twitter because none of those idiots can score a fight either. Chris Mannix can't score a fight. The broadcasters, I don't trust none of those dudes. I trust the judge's word more than I do boxing fans and broadcasters. Steve Farhood, all those scorecards are trash. Dan Rayfield's scorecard, most of those guys. Let the big boys do the judging. You gotta do the commentating on Twitter and do the writing. But after finally watching the full fight, a round of applause to all 3 judges. There was no corruption. There was no controversy, except the fans complaining about Canelo winning the first 4 rounds, which he did. He did win the first 4 rounds. All 3 judges agreed, as well as I did. I mean, how can you get this card wrong? There's nothing suspect about these cards. They all agreed on every single round. I did as well. Bivol won a very close fight, and honestly, I'm stunned he got the decision. I'm stunned. I mean, if this was any other promoter or any other network, he doesn't get the decision. Considering that he's Russian, and, with what's going on in the world, it was very risky to bet on a Russian. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, a Russian got robbed. Batua beat Stanionis and got robbed. So I wasn't expecting Bivol to get a close decision, which was what I expected for this fight. I expected a competitive fight, and Bivol not getting the decision, even if he won. But surprising enough, he got the decision. He earned the decision. He battled back after a slow start. The reason why Canelo won the first 4 rounds, it was pretty simple. He landed the more significant shots. He was the only one that landed any punches of substance. Bivol just didn't land anything of significance. Little pity-pat jabs here and there, pity-pat right hands, and Canelo was busting him up with uppercuts and body shots against the ropes. So his flashy punches and harder punches, better punches that landed in those rounds, got him those rounds. But then, Canelo gassed big time in this fight. His conditioning failed him horribly. And it was the first time I've seen him this tired in a very long time. And it just makes you wonder, what was the reason he got so tired? Well, Bivol gave the answer after the fight. Canelo was just throwing everything hard with the same speed, and he ended up getting tired when he couldn't get Bivol out of there. It wasn't a great strategy by Canelo. He wasn't jabbing enough. He wasn't going to the body enough. And the reason why was he was just too gassed. He didn't have the tank. He got outlasted. He got out conditioned. Bivol's conditioning was superior. He was fresh, and he looked like he can go another 10 rounds in that fight. I mean, he was that fresh. He was that fluid. He was landing the combinations by the 5th round on. He dominated from the 5th round on. Canelo only won 1 round, which was the 9th round. But, Canelo, he was still only 2 rounds away from lifting this title. I mean, Bivol fucked my parlay up. And I'm watching the fight last night, and I felt Canelo won the first 4 rounds, and then my stream started fucking up. But I was like, you know what? Canelo got this. There's no way Bivol's going to win 8 straight rounds. This is no fucking way. And then he did. He won 7 of the last 8. And won the fight 115-113. So, Steve Weisfeld is a good judge. I usually agree with his scores. Dave Moretti, he actually proved that he can judge a fight if Floyd Mayweather and PBC are not involved and no envelopes are being handed to him. He actually can score a fight. Tim Tatum, he usually does okay scores from time to time. Don't always agree, but these guys, they scored a clean fight. It's exactly how it went down. Bivol battled back and won 7 of the last 8 rounds and won the fight. And he dominated from the 5th round on. Canelo just couldn't. His gas was gone. The tank was empty. I mean, he was fighting on fumes from the 6th round on, and he just couldn't get anything going. He couldn't really land anything clean. It was only hitting Bivol's arms most of the time, aside from the 9th round. And it was a good fight, you know. Canelo was just 2 rounds away from getting the title. He just couldn't get it done. Of course, there's going to be talks of a rematch. I mean, Canelo, he just has to make a few adjustments if he wants to go through with this rematch. You know, not try to go for the knockout early, not throw everything hard, be more selective with his punches, change the speed, go to the body, and get in better condition. You know, his conditioning failed him big time. That's the reason why he lost the fight. I mean, Bivol was just in better shape. He was in better condition, and he was able to fight the fatigue better than Canelo did. But it was a very, very good competitive fight that Bivol deserved to win. He deserved it, man. Congrats to him. I was shocked he got the decision, though. It was considering it was a close fight. I mean, they didn't even play the dude's national anthem. That's all you need to know right there. But, you know, there was no corruption. No one was handing envelopes to the judges. And for Eddie Hearn's sake, maybe he should have. I mean, you could tell on the look on his face that he was devastated because he threw a lot of money at Canelo and he ends up losing the fight. But it's going to be interesting to see if the rematch occurs. Bivol wants to be respected in the rematch. He got no respect. He went into the ring first. He was introduced first, even though he was the champion. All the rules were against him. The rules didn't apply to Canelo. I'm not sure if Canelo's going to want to renegotiate, considering they did the negotiations for the rematch prior to the fight. So it really depends if Canelo really wants to pursue this. I still think he could make adjustments and still has a chance to win. He just didn't fight the smartest fight. He tried to knock the much bigger man out, and Bivol was a lot tougher than anticipated. He took all his shots. He took some big shots too, but he was able to take them, and he didn't get tired. He had a great gas tank, and that was a major difference in the fight. And he was the only one landing clean punches down the stretch. So congratulations to Bivol. He got the decision, man. He got a close earned decision, and it was shocking. You know, boxing actually got it right. The judges actually got the most accurate scorecards ever. This was the perfectly scored judge fight. I scored every round the exact same way, and it's actually pretty fitting, man. It's fitting. I can't even say Canelo got robbed. Can't even say the judges didn't know what they're watching. They scored the fight exactly the way it went down. And of course, the idiots on Twitter, boxing Twitter, don't know how to score a fucking fight. I mean, I saw scores Bivol 10-2. That boy working. Get the fuck out of here, man. Let the big boys do the judging. Y'all do the watching. Good fight, though. I'm not sure if Canelo's going to pursue the rematch. There's a lot of questions. What's he going to do next? I mean, there's plenty of options. There's the third fight with Triple G. That's still an option. He could pursue this rematch. It was a close fight. He was only 1 round away from not losing. Just a few adjustments here and there, but Bivol might be more confident next time around. Who knows? Canelo's got to be in much better shape if he wants to win this fight. He needs to have, his gas tank's got to be there. If he gets tired again, he's going to lose. He's got to be able to match Bivol's conditioning. And, it was surprising that, I haven't seen him that gassed in a long time. He wasn't gassed in the Kovalev fight. He wasn't gassed in the second Golovkin fight. He didn't gas in the Callum Smith fight or the Caleb Plant fight. But this fight, maybe it was the weight, the vegan diet, I don't know. Or maybe he was throwing everything too hard, like Bivol said, and gassed out. I mean, he was on fumes at the 6 rounds and somehow made it to the distance and taking big shots from Dmitry Bivol. Good fight and a surprising result despite it being the accurate and right decision. Wow, I'm stunned. Bivol got the decision, man. Stunned. And for the people that bet on Bivol, congratulations. It was bold, man. I couldn't do it. There was no way I was gonna bet on a Russian after I just watched a Russian get robbed 2 weeks ago. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Your thoughts on the scorecards. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.